radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio. For the masses. Yeah. Today's Monday, September 28th, 2020. $272 days into the new year, only 94 days left. As always, we are live from a bunker that is somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? I hope you had a great weekend. It was a crazy weekend, wasn't it? Oh, the crazy news. And over at the house, the installation has started. I posted some pictures today on Facebook. And I took a picture later on in the day. You know, we dug out 13 inches into the ground, deep, dirt, and 14 by 15 foot area that is dug out 13 feet or 13 inches deep, 13 feet deep. Yeah, we put in a pool. And wow, what a project. Very excited. And speaking with friends, a lot of my friends, right? I'm telling them what we're doing. Everybody's doing the same thing. And, home improvement, you're at the house, everything that you procrastinated about and you're just like, man, I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. Well, it seems like, you lock down in the house for 6, 7, 8 months and you take a look around and you're like, you know what? I got to get this stuff done. I can't take it anymore. So everybody's doing it. I don't care if you have an apartment, you have a house, you're renting your parents' garage in the back. You're redoing everything. That's what's going on. So we're in the middle of doing this, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. An amazing week is in front of us here on Fade to Black. Today, Monday, Jason Quitt is here for Quittspiracy number 8. That means 8 months of Quittspiracies. I just can't believe it, man. We're up to number 8. And so tonight, more conspiracies are going to be rated 1 to 4 pipes. That's right. I need to get Ronnie McMullen in on some of this at some point and get him to rate things 1 to 4 pipes so he can ask me, what's 1 to 4 pipes? Tomorrow night, Johnny Enoch is here. Johnny's going to talk about a book that you probably don't know anything about. It's from 2005, Sylvia Browne's book, Prophecy, What the Future Holds for You, because there have been some pages of another book of hers that have been going around on the web. But that may not be the story here. It may be this, her 2005 book called Prophecy. I have a copy of it. I'm reading it over at the house, but I'll have it in the bunker tomorrow, and I'll show it to you. I actually have the book. Wednesday night, John Greenwald will bring us the latest from the Black Vault, and we just did a show on Socorro, New Mexico, right? And with Ben Moss. Well, over the weekend, John Greenwald got all of the FBI docs on Socorro, New Mexico. So we'll be talking about that Wednesday night. And also, who will make the best UFO disclosure president? Who would make the best one? So we're going to talk about all of that. He's got a pretty interesting take on this, and we'll be discussing that Wednesday night. Thursday night's another Fader night with open lines all night long. All right, let's get the show cracking. Let's move quickly, because in a few short minutes, Ronnie McMullen from Life Change Tea is going to be joining us. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's simple, at JChurchRadio. Start your social media connection with me right there. And I just jumped over to Twitter to see what's going on. You guys are out of control. You guys are out of control on Twitter. I want to thank all of you. I will never stop. I want to thank all of you. This family, this audience, as big as it is, it's a family. And looking at Twitter, and, you know, tonight we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4,000 tweets. Absolutely incredible. The Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter if you want to see what's going on and what I'm talking about. We don't bite. Come over and hang out with us. It's pretty cool. And if you do it, just do it for the gifts that everybody posts right before the show. Karen McIntyre. Karen, that's a brilliant. You can email throughout the show, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black questions. Let's get to the breaking news. New research. Now, this broke over the weekend. Everybody is talking about it. New research has unraveled paradoxes at the heart of time travel are actually something that is mathematically possible. Now, we all know what the paradox says. The paradox says that any action that alters the past is a contradiction because the past becomes different from how it was. If you travel back in time and prevent your parents from meeting, for instance, how could you be born to travel back in time in the first place? We all understand this. We talk about it all the time. Well, Jermaine Tobar, a physics student from the University of Queensland in Australia, says he has unraveled the maths behind time travel and made it visible and viable without the paradoxes. Tobar used the example of the coronavirus pandemic to explain his incredibly dense math. If a time traveler journeyed to the past to stop the disease from spreading, if they were successful, there would have been no disease to send them back to eliminate. However, Tobar's work found that the virus would still escape in some other way. No matter what the time traveler did, the disease wouldn't be stopped. So the paradox is removed. The deeply theoretical work focuses on the influence of deterministic processes that on an arbitrary number of regions in the space-time continuum. Tobar demonstrated how both closed time-like curves, which were predicted by Albert Einstein, can fit in with the rules of free will and classical physics. It's pretty interesting. But I don't think you could prevent. We'll talk about this later. I could talk about paradoxes for the next 3 hours. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, the one and only guitar god George Lynch. Today is 66 years old. There's a video of Dokken playing a concert in Germany on television from, it's a full concert too. It's got to be from 1981. And George Lynch looks like he's a sophomore in high school. It's the craziest video. Go check it out. Today, Moon Unit Zappa is 53, of course. Valley Girl, for sure, right? Today, Moon Unit is 53. Our dead guy's birthday today is Ben E. King, who is best known as the singer and co-composer of Stand By Me. That's right. Huge hit in 61 and 1986. and was used for the theme of the movie Stand By Me. Number 1 hit in the United Kingdom in 1987, number 25 on the RIAA's list of songs of the century. And as one of the principal lead singers of the rhythm and blues vocal group, The Drifters, singing the lead vocals and the number 1 hit, Save the Last Dance for Me. Benny died in Hackensack University Medical Center on April 30th, 2015 at the age of 76. On this day in history, OTD, penicillin, discovered by Sir Alexander Fleming, changed the world. Here's your fader fact. J.R.R. Tolkien was rejected for a Nobel Prize in 1961 because they said he was a poor storyteller. Oh, man. All right. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here for Quittspiracy 8. Tomorrow night, Johnny Enoch. We're going to discuss Sylvia Browne's 2005 book, Prophecy. Wednesday night, John Greenwald on all of the latest breaking news from the Black Vault. Thursday is another Fader night with open lines all night long. I would like to welcome back at this very moment the one and only Ronnie McMullen from Life Change Tea. Ronnie, good evening, man. How you doing?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I am fantastic. You know what uplifts me besides a glass of your tea, by the way, which I damaged this weekend. I think I went overboard. I went overboard on the tea. I'll explain why off the air. But anyway, what's uplifting to me is hearing your voice. You're not buying it. You're not buying it. Why?
I'm not buying it, but that's cool. Hey, if that makes you go good, that's good. That's a good thing.
Can I talk? Can I tell everybody about the conversation that we had just before the show tonight? Is it okay? Can I disclose?
Yeah. Disclose.
Ronnie has lost 15 pounds. Now, this is the deal. Now, we're going to get to the rest of his health package here in just a second. Ronnie is already 85 pounds, but most people don't know that. But Ronnie, you've lost 15 pounds, and what's the rest of what's the blood sugar? What's the blood pressure? What are your vital signs?
Blood sugars have gone down, which I have glucose problems, but I won't here in the next few months. Blood pressure was okay, but now it's even better. Cholesterol good. 15 pounds down. And I feel better, a lot more energy. It's all good. It's all, and you know what? It makes you think better when you have less weight, and when you feel better, you think better, you see better, and I can go on.
I have seen pictures of what 5 pounds and 10 pounds of body fat looks like, right? Like on an operating table.
Yeah,
Right? That's a lot. That's a lot of mass. People equate it to, it's just 5 pounds. You need to, look at a 15-pound turkey, and imagine that being cut off your body. Right?
Yeah,
that's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I weighed in at 200 when I started this fasting, this intermediate fasting. I weighed 200, and you don't come off. It's not like you lost 15 pounds overnight. It comes off slow. So it's been 2.5 months, something like that. And 15 pounds, and I weigh 185 now, sometimes 184, it goes between 15, 16 pounds. And I'm not really doing it for the weight. I'm doing it more for the blood sugars and more for the blood work. And it's just amazing. I'm having a great time. And then, the supplements. Oh my gosh, the supplements work like 3 times better when you actually digest better when you don't eat a bunch of food and you don't eat 3 meals a day. So, okay, enough of that. It's great. And by the way, I wanted to say this real quick because I'm on Jimmy Church's radio program. I really like it. You know whose birthday it is today that I like to celebrate?
Whose?
My grandson.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, of course. Yeah. What's his name?
He's 3.
What's
Ralphie.
Ralphie.
He's 3.
Happy birthday, Ralphie.
Yeah, he's just a doll. Anyway, so I wanted to say that on there, but yeah, life is good, and I just think that I just think in these, I call it the world's on fire. So here the world is on fire and trying to, the fear levels are just huge. And just so you know, when the fear levels are up, it's just dropping, cortisol and dropping all kinds of epinephrine, everything into our body and totally making us a imbalanced, chemistry bomb. And I think we just need to turn our heads toward the positive. And that sounds cheesy, but if we just turn our heads toward the positive and say, you know what, it could be worse, and things aren't that bad. And if we do that and keep the senses that say, oh, everything's bad, you should be very scared right now, the world's going to end very quickly, and start saying, no, there's been some bad things happen over the past few hundred years and we still here. So I don't think so. I think somebody's lying. So positive attitude really helps.
Well, so much of the world, we can actually, and this is the truth. It's a bizarre statement, but anything that we talk about the United States is actually the rest of the world at the same time. This isn't some localized situation in Sweden or in South Africa or in New Zealand or Taiwan. It's the entire planet. We're all going through this at the same time. And one of the things that we are all facing right now is way too much time spent at home, which means probably for everybody less exercise. You're not getting up and going to work. You're not getting up and jumping in the shower early in the morning, jumping in the car, driving to work, walking. You're not doing any of that. You're staying at home. You're probably eating comfort food. You're probably eating just incorrectly in general. You've made these changes to yourself that weren't your fault, but you're going to do these things because life suddenly got complicated for you. So probably now more than ever, taking care of yourself is most important because it also affects your mental health and your emotional state, and will have a definite calming effect as you're facing all of these challenges, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the rock band Styx sang it best when they said too much time on your hands. And that's really where we are, and the commuters are happy because they're going, hey, I don't spend an hour and 15 minutes one way to go to my job. I just turn on the computer and there it is. But California's having these rolling blackouts and wonder why that's going on. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of stuff going on, and you will appreciate this, Jim. You probably already know this, and this is probably old news to you. But do you know what companies are doing very well during the pandemic? Are you ready?
Well, besides Amazon.
Besides Amazon.
Okay. Besides Amazon, besides Netflix, right?
Besides Netflix, and there's 1,000 of them.
But what I mean is all the companies that are profiting off of us staying at home. But those are kind of, I don't know. I don't say they're bad news, but they're, sometimes we don't need the stuff we're buying on Amazon. We're just doing it. But who are the companies? Who are the companies that are successful?
Fender.
What's that?
Fender. They're having a record year.
Yeah. Well,
all the guitar companies are having record years. I just thought that was really cool because all this blank space, if we use creativity, which comes in whether you guitar lessons or you're just picking up that guitar that you didn't play for so many years, and I knew you'd appreciate this being a guitarist, that all of a sudden your creativity kicks in really hard being at home, and you might write some killer songs.
I've got 7 Fenders here, just hanging right here on the wall. I counted as you said that.
You can send me one if you get,
If I
it's
do,
fine. I'll take the pretty one.
Can you? I'll take the pretty one.
It shows you how much. Yeah, I'm actually taking lessons.
Are you really?
I really am.
And what motivated this?
Well, I play keyboards and I like guitar so much, but I got these short, fat fingers, and I finally found somebody that said, who cares about short, fat fingers? You want me to tell you all the stars and celebrities that have short, fat fingers that play the guitar incredibly?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
And I was like, huh. And then just do it, So anyway, I've been playing, and it's actually a blast. And the way that he teaches is kind of the way that I like, because I like to write songs.
Wait a minute.
So
what do you mean short, fat fingers?
I got short, fat fingers.
It's impossible. You're 6'6".
Yeah,
140 pounds.
80, you said 85 pounds earlier. So now, look what's happened to me.
How do you have short, fat fingers? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I never could play basketball because, I have these short, fat fingers.
Man,
but
if I had your height and my jump shot, I'd be playing for the Lakers.
6'6". By the way, guys, fit or not, I'm 6 foot straight up.
You are not. You're taller than I am. I'm 6 foot.
You are not 6 foot. Well, maybe you are, and I don't know, but I'm 6 foot.
Okay, all right. Let's.
You might had some good shoes on, or I did. One of us maybe had really good shoes on.
I'll tell you that.
Remember those shoes we used to have the 2 or 3 inch heels?
Oh,
guys would wear them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I got a pair. This was in Indianapolis before I came out here to California. But somebody comes by my house and says, "Hey, man, I got a gift for you," and whips out this shoebox, and it was a pair of like 78 through that period.
Yeah, I was going to say 78 through 79.
1978, male shoes, platforms with like a 4-inch or 3-inch heel on the back and like 2 inches on the front, 1.5 inches. And they
6'3", here I come.
And they were dark green and silver, like half and half. Where it laced, one side was green, dark green, and the other side was like silver lemon.
Oh man,
and they were
that's almost
baddest.
an SS Chevelle color.
And I wore those, man. I put those things straight on my feet, and they were just incredible. They were incredible.
Staying alive.
Hey, before we get back to Life Change Tea, I want you to write this down. Do you have a pen?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I
you need to write this down. This is important since we're talking about short, fat fingers.
Okay.
Shawn, SHAWN, Shawn Lane, LANE. He died many years ago, and probably he was the secret guitar player that all of the real guitar players worshipped, but they didn't. They wanted to keep him a secret. But anyway, go check out Shawn Lane. That's all you got to do. Go check. It's just incredible player, incredible. Okay. He had serious health issues, but when you go watch him play, I want you to remember this, and then we're going to jump. He comes up to me in Memphis. He lived in Memphis. He comes up to me in Memphis, and I had my flame guitar there, and he points at it and he goes, "Man, that's pretty cool, Jimmy." I said, "Yep." He said, "Hey, man, after we close this place tonight, you want to come over to my house and play some guitar?" I'm like, "Dude, what?" What? And,
yeah, baby.
Oh, man, we played. I remember leaving his house, and I'm walking outside, and people are, like, jogging, right? It's like 8 in the morning. I'm like, man, wow. That was an incredible night. Anyway, so Shawn Lane, go check him out. What's going on over at Life Change Tea? I just went through, I did a double strength run of Life Change Tea over the weekend, and I did it for me and the family. There was something, I think we ate, this is what we did. I'm gonna say this in 15 seconds. I think we ate some bad takeout.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody got like, right? And I was like, okay, there's only one answer for this, and it's Ronnie McMullen, Life Change Tea. We're all back on the mend. Everything is fine. It only took a day, by the way. Only took a day to get us back straight. We were all pretty worried. What's going on over at Life Change Tea right now?
Well, we got a couple monthly specials going on. The Get Moving special, which I kind of like this. This is one of your favorite products, the Apple Cider Plus. And then it comes with tea. And then we have a new product called Joint Love. And the Joint Love is good for our joints. I don't know what it is, but it's like, when the weather changes and everything, it's almost like we're the Tin Men, we squeak, we need some goods. So it's really good with kicking the inflammation down, making you feel better, making you walk better. And we've actually had, we sent out a few that, because we used to carry another joint product from somebody else. And I just put in some really cool stuff in this. And long and the short of it, we sent it out to some people that had the other, that had been using the other and was quite okay with it. And they came back and they said, this is I like this word, game changer. And I just thought.
Right.
They said it was great. And so we were like, okay, this is good to go. So anyway, we got that. That's on special. And then we have the 8th element, which is the shrooms, dude. cordyceps.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on with the tea, and there's a special for that, and of course some free shipping for Fader. So we gotta make sure we put that in the coupon code. But it's all good, and let me tell you something. I think it's interesting, and I just say this, but a lot of people, they're like, man, things are getting crazy, gold, silver, good idea, maybe some storage of food,
Right.
I'm not coming against any of that. What I am saying is you might want to have a little bit of supplements, like the tea lasts forever. No, it doesn't, but it lasts a very long time. It's in a vacuum sealed package. And then the supplements, again, 2, 3, 4 years. We have to put code dates of 2 to 3, but they go a lot longer. And to have a few extras laying around is probably a really good idea, depending on, we don't know what the economy is going to do, but it's going to show its face in the next 6 months.
Yeah, and each one of your specials contains the tea. Right.
Yeah,
and it's very important. But when you go for everybody, it's an easy and effortless way to take care of yourself, and just to make sure that you have the tea. Right. So the tea is bundled with everything on the specials page.
Yeah, on the specials page. And the other thing to be thinking about with tea that's really important is it cleanses crud that shouldn't be in you. Well, when you boil the water with the tea, it's cleaning. That drink is becoming very special, if that makes any sense to you.
Sure.
So in other words, in an earthquake, if you had some storage water and you put it in and you heated it up and you got it boiling and you put the tea in, do you know how well that's going to work in a bad time, like an earthquake where water lines are shut down or anything like that? So not to paint the picture black, don't like going there, but it's not bad to be just a little prepared, just a teeny bit, because how do you spend gold and silver if you're dead?
No, that's right. No, you can't do it. It's impossible. What's the promo code for the faders?
FADER, fader.
Like it should be.
Like it should be.
And, the Feel Good special, the Get Moving special, Super Tea and Eighth Element, all of these packages. I like the Vision Quest, by the way, and the Immune Builder. Right now, 1 or 2 of these packages, one of these special bundles will get you on the path that you need to be on. And Ronnie, again, I say it every time you're on with us. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for helping me and my family. And you are the very best, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you, man.
Love you right back. Ronnie McMullen, Life Change Tea. The website's simple. You can just go to jimmychurchradio.com and click and go to getthetea.com. The promo code is FADER, FADER. You will get free shipping. Ronnie McMullen, 6'6", 85 pounds. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Tonight, Quittspiracy number 8 with Jason Quitt. We're going to kick all of this off. When I come back, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason Quitt at Jason_Quitt right there in Twitter. Email is Jimmy at JimmyChurchRadio.com on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. with wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I don't know how we got here, but we did. Tonight, Quittspiracy number 8. Wow, 8 months of Quittspiracies with Jason Quitt. And tonight, it's kind of crazy, but we're calling it Quittspiracy 8. I don't know how we picked this number, but there'll be a conspiracy theory started about it very soon. Tonight, we're going to reveal more conspiracy theories and maybe, if we have time, get around to some of your phone calls and your Quittspiracies. And remember, we're going to rate all of them 1 to 4 pipes. Now, we've got an exciting list tonight. Some of them, and this is what I like to do with Jason, is mix it up. Some are very popular conspiracy theories, and we're going to kick it off tonight with one of the biggest, but some you've never heard of. So we're going to do all of that. Of course, Jason is a graduate of the Institute of Energy Wellness and a student of the Algonquin Shamanism, and has been training and working with many teachers, shamans, and traditional healers from all around the world. He is also the author of the Egyptian Postures of Power Ancient Gong System and the Yosef Codes, Sacred Geometry Mandalas. His website is the Crystal Stun. That's what they did on Star Trek, I think, right, Jason? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, Jimmy.
The Crystal Stun. I think that's something new, man.
It's a conspiracy.
I'm actually kind of cool with it. Oh man, we've got so much to talk about tonight, and I was speaking with one of our mutual friends yesterday, and again this morning, and this was the topic of the conversation. That especially what has happened over the last week and this what went down over the weekend, conspiracy theories
are easy today, aren't they? I mean, they're easy. If you're out there wanting to create or start a conspiracy theory, now's the time, because people are going to pay attention and retweet for you.
So let's make one up.
Yeah, exactly. We need to, by the end of the show, we can actually do it. And I know of a few individuals over the years. This isn't just recent history, but over the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years that have started some pretty crazy conspiracy theories and did it all on their own. And it didn't end well, right? And that's why I'm cautious, man. I'm cautious about reporting conspiracy theories as news.
Yes. We could also do a thought experiment.
What's that?
To see if an idea can spread very fast. And with social media, we can definitely do that.
Oh, you are wicked, man. See, anybody that thinks Jason is just Mr. Innocent, crystal sun dude. All right. We have got a lot. We have got a great list tonight. And what I'm really enjoying about this is the possibility of, Jason, you know this, the possibility of offending people. That's always great. The conspiracy theorists out there that are going to go, come on, man. Yeah, there's that element. And then there's another element to this, which is that it will always make people think. And when we go and we rate, it's not like you and I each week, we may not agree, but it's not like we're 4 pipes all in, right? And it's not like we're 1 pipe or 0 pipes and not believing in these different conspiracy theories. But you have to have an open mind, right?
And, I used to believe in certain conspiracies, and later on, I've kind of realized they were hoaxes. So, I've been there and I've been here, and I'm sure I'm going to figure out new things and put them, in the shelf. Basically, leave them alone.
Yeah, and there were a couple of conspiracy theories for me in the early 80s that were so far out there, way out there, that I called BS on it. And it turns out today it's actually happening. And that's the thing, right? So you got to be careful. You got to let the time pass. Sometimes it just doesn't develop. And the 2 conspiracy theories that I'm directly, referring to is that ATM cards or a bank card for you to get your money out of the bank was going to happen, this new technology. At that time, there were no ATM machines, right? Okay. So, and that we were going to have this electronic banking card, and it was going to be the mark of the devil, and that everybody in the world was eventually going to have this card, and you will use it for your cash. And I remember, I was like, no way, that'll never happen, man. That kind of technology, man. No. And look, right? I don't carry cash today.
Yeah.
I carry cash to give out to the homeless. That's why I carry cash. I don't spend money. I give it away, but I don't spend it.
But you can see that simple conspiracy back in the 80s continues to evolve today, where they talk about the getting chipped.
That was the second one. I didn't get to that. But that's why you and I are connected, by the way, my brother. People are watching me point at you. I'm pointing. Jason and I are video linked, so I'm pointing at them. Is that, and so the other conspiracy was that you were going to have this chip implanted in your, was it right hand or left? Right, one of your hands, right? And it was going to be your ID and banking and all of that. But that was the other mark of the beast, and this was part of the some of the prophecies in the Bible. And sure enough, man, those chips are with us today. And I thought that it was just science fiction, that it would never happen. So you need to be careful. Give it time.
Oh yeah, a good conspiracy evolves over time, and a lot of them turn out to be true, especially the ones that we think are very sci-fi-ish.
Yeah, well, I don't think that an ATM card is the mark of the beast. I don't think an RFID chip is mark of the beast. But I fell for the ATM card, so there you go. I guess I'm, the 666 tattoo that I have has nothing to do with the ATM card, and but the RFID chip, I will never do that. I will never, ever do that. Mark of the beast or not, that just doesn't make me feel right.
No, we chip our animals, and even that I feel bad about chipping animals. I wouldn't put a foreign object in my body for a tracking purpose.
Yeah. Here in the United States, we have a company, I think it's in Ohio or Michigan, that makes these chips, and they chip their entire company, right? And the comments from the employees, it's great. I can just go right up to the vending machine and make my purchase for my snacks. But it's also your time card, your attendance. They know if you're leaving the building. There's nothing better than working for a company and being able to sneak out with nobody knowing and going home early, or heading up to Starbucks or going to Taco Bell and nobody knows. Well, they do if you're chipped. That's the part. You can't be sneaky anymore.
That's the thing. So you lose your privacy, you lose your rights, and a lot of people are going into this technology. But we've talked about this on the show before. If you have your cell phone on you, you're being tracked.
That's right. That's right. I'm so uncomfortable with it. And before we get to our first conspiracy, which everybody is literally 1 minute away, is that when I see my cell phone light up now, when I park my car or when I get in, when I get out, and I'm looking at these alerts, your car's parked, 10 minutes to get home, these alerts, it's just like, I don't need this kind of intrusion. I've shut off all locations. I've shut off everything, and it still goes off. There are still applications running in this phone in the background that you have zero control over.
It's a scary thought.
Are you Android? Are you Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Oh, that's right. Of course you are. Yeah. I don't. iPhones, I think you have more flexibility with turning things off in an Android. With an iPhone, as cool as it is, you're limited on a bunch of different things, and I've gone through that in the last month with our website and our email. We have our own servers, and Drew getting things configured. He's like, dude, it's all running on my Android. I've got everything running on my Android. I'm like, it's not running on my iPhone. I don't have the options to turn things on and off like you do in an Android. So there you go. All right, you ready? You ready to?
Yeah.
You ready to?
I'll give a disclaimer first, I think.
No, wait, you can't disclaimer. What, are you scared? You weren't born scared.
I'm just gonna say I'm a young, healthy guy. I got some good thoughts in my head.
You have no negative, dark thoughts.
No negative, dark thoughts.
You're positive, right?
Good guy, healthy.
If anything happens, because we're starting off with conspiracy number 1 tonight on Quittspiracy number 8 with Jason Quitt. Jason Quitt with 2 T's. The Clinton body count. You know what? Neither of us may survive the show.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should get it all in. Get it all in. Oh, get somebody in on the phones just to run the show out, to make sure we have somebody on the air. The Clinton body count. I did a show about this probably 6-7 years ago, Jason. And when you hear about it, and you hear about it, and you hear about it, but you go and there's a ton of information out there, and you start to go down this rabbit hole, and this is one of the craziest conspiracies that are out there. It's crazy because it's crazy, But it's crazy because some of these facts absolutely line up, and it forces you to take a step back. Before we get into the facts of the case, Jason, how many body bags are in your life?
0.
Exactly. Right? Right?
Yeah.
I don't got any body bags. I would say that nobody's got any body bags. What's up with the Clintons and this crazy number?
Well, I would say it's well over 50 associates. And you said it's even higher than that.
77 is my last count. Yeah.
Wow. And like tonight, I really went down the rabbit hole and I started to look up these names. And I didn't even I said I had to stop looking at these names because each one is its own rabbit hole. And it's scary, scary stuff.
Now, okay, what is the conspiracy? Go ahead.
The conspiracy is that people that are close associated with the Clintons, all the way back to Arkansas with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, till present today, people that are close to them or get too close to them end up dead. In very mysterious circumstances. Lots of suicides, jumping out of windows, plane crashes, cars, like you name it, it's there.
Suicides by gunshot.
Yes. And sometimes there's more than one gunshot in the suicide.
Yes.
But it's still ruled suicide. You know, I'm not going down that path to describe it. But it is freaky that people that are close to them, they consider good friends, associates, people they work with, just up and die, get murdered, suicide. What do they have, like a curse on them?
Yeah, well, you know, and some of and we're going to dive deep into this, everybody, right now. The debunkers of this conspiracy theory will say, and the Clintons themselves, there's been the majority of it has been silence, but there has been some response, which is, hey, it's just all coincidence. Every single one of these body bags has an explanation. It's just coincidence. That's not good enough, is it?
How do you count those odds in Vegas?
You couldn't. I don't know if Vegas would take those odds. Actually, it's Wait a minute. You're a PR person for the Clintons. You got no life insurance with us. Okay, so how long has this conspiracy been going on?
It's been going on since the early 90s, and it's actually, probably goes back further before he started to run. Bill Clinton started to run for president. This probably went back to even when he was governor of Arkansas, and there was a lot of stories back then of running drugs and all these other issues with the mob back in Arkansas.
Vince Foster. It's one of the craziest. If anybody wants to get into this, go look at James McDougal. Go look at Vince Foster and very high-profile people, and check that out. And then, of course, we have Seth Rich. Is Seth Rich the latest, or has there been another body bag after Seth Rich?
It would be Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. But wait, you're right. You're right in a sense, because back in 2016, when Seth Rich was murdered, and he was a DNC staffer at the time.
Right.
When he was murdered in 2016, this sparked the Clinton body count again.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, on the internet, everybody was talking about, know this person, Seth Rich, and it tied in with other conspiracies, which make it a really good conspiracy around Seth Rich. And, we're talking about tragedy here. There's all this tragedy that's going on here. But there's also narratives being spun with using people's names. So me and you, Jimmy, we're going to try to sort through this.
Yeah, and you have to. Look, anybody, and especially somebody like Seth Rich, whose family had to endure this and getting tied into a conspiracy theory and having your son or brother or sister's name dragged into this is not cool. And that's not our intention here. Yes. We are just presenting the facts, and the facts are very simple. And this is the other thing, getting to Jeffrey Epstein, is that after Jeffrey went to jail this last round, his death was predicted for weeks. There was just no way, right? There was no way that they were good. And then boom, he suicides himself. And that just adds to the conspiracy theory, doesn't it?
Yes, because him and Bill Clinton are very close associates. I would even say friends. They spent a lot of time together. They vacationed together. They went to Africa together with the Clinton Foundation. He's been to Little St. James Island with Epstein on multiple occasions. And he's seen in many social gatherings with Jeffrey Epstein. So is there a connection between Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
so,
well, let's do this really quick. I've got some other facts and stats that I want to present before we get to the pipes. Oh, man. The deputy of the White House counsel was found dead with a gunshot wound to his head. That was Vince Foster. Deemed as a suicide, Ron Brown, Clinton's Commerce Secretary, died in a plane crash in 1996. 1997, Mary Mahoney, a White House intern, was shot to death at her night job at Starbucks with two others, even though the Starbucks was not robbed. And this is just a taste. And I've also got, hold on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wait, 6, 12 Clinton bodyguards dead. 12.
So don't get too close to the Clintons.
Don't get too close.
Are saying.
Don't get too close. The numbers are crazy. Now, what happened with Seth Rich in 2016?
Well, he got tied into this whole conspiracy with WikiLeaks. And this is what really blew up the internet. And basically what happened is the Hillary Clinton and John Podesta emails were leaked into WikiLeaks. And this was right before the election. So this caused a massive stir. And I would say that it helped Donald Trump get into office.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So this was a huge, huge hit, the WikiLeaks. And then conspiracy theorists started to come out and started to say that Seth Rich might have been the leaker of these emails. So it tied him directly to the emails, which has never been proven, by the way. And they say, okay, well, if he's the leaker of these emails, then that is the reason why he was murdered. And this is all allegedly, and there's no proof to any of this. He was murdered by two assailants. They've never been found. 2 gunshot wounds to the back.
Supposedly a robbery, right?
It was supposedly a robbery. That's what's written in the report. But his wallet was still there, and they didn't rob him. So it's like a botched robbery. And in that area that he was in, that actually occurs quite often. So they had cases of that happening before Seth Rich, and I'm pretty sure they've had cases of that in that area after Seth Rich. But the reason why it's a conspiracy is because now you have this murder linked with Hillary Clinton and Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. So it makes it this trifecta conspiracy.
Okay, let's do this. We've just got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna. They're already rating it. Can we do the pipes first, Gabriel? Is that okay? Clinton body count conspiracy, way beyond coincidence. There's something to this. It's more than meets the eye. I'm going all in on 4 pipes. Jason?
Well, Jimmy,
you got to say it quick.
I'm gonna say, this is so hard. I'm gonna say 4 pipes.
Yeah, you got to go 4 pipes. Got to go. There are no other pipe decisions on this. Like I said, I remember I had a conversation with Rita about this, and I said, Rita, this is many years ago. How many people around us have died? Right? Do we have a body bag count? And we're like, no, nobody. How is it possible, right? How can you not accept that this is beyond coincidence if you're the Clintons and go, hey, look, we're public, we're in this, it's a weird life, stuff happens, and when you're doing what you're doing, it's a high risk environment. I mean, instead of just saying there's nothing to see here, everything can be explained, right?
No, this is beyond explanation. There's a lot of things in here that point to cover-ups and misdirections.
Now, we didn't even get to one of the things we were talking about, the politics side of this, but the cocaine trafficking and that whole case with the local law enforcement and a group of high schoolers in Arkansas is just a strange. We didn't have the time to get into that tonight, but that's a very strange part of this too. And again, very tough to explain away. That is one of the craziest conspiracies out there, and I think there's something to it. 4 pipes, all in. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, the one and only Jason Quitt. This is Quittspiracy number 8. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can also follow Jason at Jason_Quitt. That's Quitt with 2 T's. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Quittspiracy number 8 with Jason Quitt. Tomorrow night, Johnny Enoch. Wednesday night, John Greenwald. Thursday night's another Fader night. And Rita pointed out to me tonight, or before the show tonight, that it was the 4 J's week, Jason. It's Jason, Johnny, John, and Jimmy. That's kind of weird.
Sounds like a good week.
Yeah, no, I'm being serious. It's just kind of weird. I mean, it's the way it just happened. But I mean, what if I had 3 guests with the name Z or Q? Oh, I could do that. All right, now continuing the Clinton body count. We're continuing because this next conspiracy is Hillary in the body bag. That conspiracy is that Hillary Clinton is dead and she was replaced by a body double. Jason, what's going on here?
Well, back in 2016, this is very memorable. A lot of people saw this on TV and obviously online. Hillary Clinton was visiting a 9/11 memorial in 2016. And as she was walking back to her van with her bodyguards, she just completely collapses. And then she has to be carried by her bodyguards into the van. And it was a very strange scene. It just looked like she just lost consciousness and they had to kind of get her into the van.
How many of the bodyguards died that carried her to the van?
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
I'll have to look into that one.
Probably a couple. And then what happened after that?
And then almost immediately after that, maybe it was within the hour, Hillary appears for a photo shoot coming out of Chelsea's apartment in New York, completely healthy, like nothing's ever happened. So this is where the conspiracy comes in. Everybody thought that at that moment, Hillary Clinton died, and then she was replaced at that moment with a body double that was waiting. And then now we have the body double or a clone. A lot of people are saying clone right now. So the Hillary Clinton that you see right now is not the Hillary Clinton of 2016.
Now, okay, so how did she die? That's the thing. Because leading up to this and after this, all the videos started to surface of her not being healthy, doing strange things, being caught on camera, weird things with her eyes and her mouth. I remember that. She was twitching a lot, and suddenly she's just healthy. What was she suffering from leading up to this?
Well, there was 2 conspiracies that were online, and both are out there. So the first conspiracy that people were saying was it was her clone malfunctioning. All right, they're saying she's already been replaced.
Right.
And what you're seeing is a clone malfunctioning. This was all over the internet.
Right.
And there was even an even more ludicrous conspiracy that was going around the net back then. And it's hard to even say this, but they were saying that Hillary Clinton was suffering from a rare disease called Kuru.
What's Kuru? Am I saying it right?
You're saying it right.
Kuru?
Yes.
Okay.
Kuru is a disease that cannibals get from eating too many humans.
I have some medication that'll clear that up.
Right. So, and it's it's a neurological thing. And so they said, well, Hillary Clinton is this absolute monster. So obviously this is what's happening. What came out later was saying that back in 2012, she suffered a very bad concussion. And I think she was dealing with pneumonia as well back then. So she wouldn't have been in the best of health. And I would say running for president is a lot of stress and could bring out a lot of things in us back then.
Okay, Kuru is a very rare disease. It's caused by an infection protein called prion found in contaminated human brain tissue. Kuru is found among people from New Guinea who practice a form of cannibalism in which they ate the brains of dead people as part of a ritual. So that's real. I thought you were making that up. That's not a conspiracy. That's a real disease.
Well, the conspiracy is that people were spreading a rumor that that's why she's twitching out on camera.
No, I thought you made it all up. No, it's a real disease. Kuru. Kuru. Wow.
And now you know.
Whoa, man. Okay. Now,
wait. There's even more.
You're going to bring up, okay, well, before we bring up more, are you going to bring up Gitmo? And
yes.
Is Benghazi tied to this too as well? That's the one we can start. Together. See, that's the one we can start tonight.
Pardon me?
That's the one we can start tonight.
Right. The thing is that all these conspiracies are interlaced with each other, especially with Hillary Clinton. But there's a big movement that's been going on, the QAnon movement, and they believe that back in 2017, Hillary was arrested, sent to Gitmo, and was already executed. And what you're seeing today is the clone or the body double.
Wow. So I hadn't heard this one when it comes to QAnon. But so part of Q is that Hillary was arrested back in 2017, if I just heard you correctly, sent to Guantanamo, right?
Yes.
And was executed.
Right, with others.
With others.
Yes.
Who else was executed?
I would say, oh man,
Michelle
a lot
Obama,
of the political elite.
Michelle
and,
Obama, Oprah.
Oprah, all but this is kind of like the extended universe of QAnon. So you have different factions and narratives within the narratives, and one of them was back then that she was already taken out. But then you see her in person and they say, oh, well, that's just the clone or the body double. And you know what, it's just with all conspiracies, they're constantly changing. So now, a lot of the conspiracies saying, well, they did arrest them and they have dirt on them, so they put them back out into the public. So these conspiracies are continually evolving to kind of fit a fantastical narrative.
Right. Is this an official Q position, from the official Q postings, or is this part of the fringe on the outside of Q that are suggesting this?
I would actually, some of the first Q drops ever recorded back in 2017 basically say that she was arrested.
Right.
Or will be arrested the next day, which is in 2017 and sent to Gitmo. So those are actual posts of the early Q days.
Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Let's go. Let's rate this thing. Hillary is dead. She died in 2016. She has been replaced by a body double. That is the conspiracy. And I wanted to say one other thing. I find it really interesting that Hillary is not running for president this year. Right? And could this be why? Could this be why? I mean, if you're Hillary, aren't you a better brand? I mean, you got all the problems and issues with your name. That part is obvious. But how many people know about the conspiracy theories? Not as many as her supporters. But is this maybe the reason why she's not running this year? Because it's not Hillary.
I couldn't say that. I would say that maybe the knowledge of running before is keeping her away from it. But I think that I think she'd be a strong contender, actually.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's too easy. If she's dead and that's a body double, and you're going to go through the campaign trail and interviews and close-ups and scrutiny and things, your cover would be blown. You couldn't do it. You couldn't pull it off. A body double couldn't pull it off. A clone, a perfect body double, couldn't pull it off. There's issues with that. So I don't know. Okay. I'm going Hillary Clinton died in 2016 and was replaced by a body double. Totally. I'm going two pipes, man. I'm okay with that. I'm going two pipes.
I'm going to go one pipe.
You're going one pipe.
I just don't buy it.
You don't buy it? Okay. She isn't exactly popular. Yes, I hear that, Julie, of course. Hillary dead clone, two pipes. Okay. Indy Susan's going 0 pipes, 2 pipes, 1 pipe. Yeah, there you go. All right. There you go. It's going to continue. Also, are we running polls tonight?
I hope so.
Yeah. Rita, are we running polls? I haven't seen any polls pop up. I see lots of pictures of pipes. I don't see the polls. We should get polls going for each of these. Okay.
And let me just say something here.
Sure.
And this goes to all conspiracy narratives. If your conspiracy ends with they're a clone,
that's
it's
tough.
Probably not a strong conspiracy.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one to if that's what you're doing. Getting a body double, somebody that looks like her, and there's plenty of people out there that do. I've seen some really good impersonators out there, and I've seen lots of photographs.
There are.
Yeah.
When you're a person at that level, you do have body doubles. So 100% Hillary Clinton has a body double. I just don't think that she's taken over.
No, and I'll tell you what isn't okay. If we took out Hillary Clinton died, but that Hillary Clinton in the past has been replaced by a body double in certain situations, I'm all in on 4 pipes. That's a whole different. Sure. Yeah, that's a whole different. I'm all in. That the images of Chelsea's apartment in that video, I could buy into that, man. I totally remember looking at that and going back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a body double. How did she go from being on death's door to just chipper? How does that happen? So there you go. Okay, let's get to our next one. Let's go. You know what? If we're going to go, let's go big.
Let's do it. Are we doing this, Jimmy?
Yeah, we are. The next conspiracy is a one-word conspiracy. Adrenochrome. All right. Time to kick the tires and light some fires.
Yes. This is probably the darkest, most sick conspiracies that is like infiltrated the mainstream conspiracy culture. And please don't hate me for bringing this up. Disclaimer.
No, you know what? I think that those out there that support this conspiracy appreciate us talking about it because not enough people have. You would think that this kind of conspiracy would have caught huge legs and would have spread and gone mainstream. It hasn't quite gotten there, and it continues to die out. But it is about as dark as it gets. Now, I need to do a disclaimer here in that I've done a little research into adrenochrome. I haven't gone all in on this as far as research goes. So it's not like I'm the world's expert. What's going on with this? What is the conspiracy?
Okay. The conspiracy is that there's a group of satanic elite, which is politicians, celebrities, billionaires who partake in drinking, they call it adrenochrome-laced blood, which comes from tortured children, supposedly. All right, so that's absolutely awful. The worst possible thing you can think of, truthfully, is the worst thing. And supposedly, the adrenochrome is a secret elixir that gives these elite long lives, stops the aging process, and it gives them these powers. So whoever thought this up is very twisted, very twisted. But I have this, but I know you've heard of this before. You've heard of adrenochrome before.
Continue.
Okay. I heard of it from reading Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
By Hunter S. Thompson.
That's right. That's right. I knew it. Thank you for pointing that out. Please continue, Jason.
Okay, so nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody in pop culture, in conspiracy culture, nobody would know the word adrenochrome if it wasn't for Hunter S. Thompson. All right. And it was in his book talking about this drug in 1971. And before that, you had pioneers in psychedelic research, like Huxley and others, who were starting to research this thing called adrenochrome. And in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and hopefully many people have seen this movie, you'll remember that Hunter in the movie, or Gonzo in the movie, partakes in taking adrenochrome as a hallucinogenic, and his lawyer explains to him that he got the adrenochrome from a Satanist who extracted it from a living human's adrenal gland.
That's right. That's right.
And, Hunter takes it and he starts to trip out. So that was a very memorable scene in that movie. And that is really what got this conspiracy started.
Now, okay, what is adrenochrome actually? What is it?
It's a lot more vanilla than people want to believe.
When you say vanilla, are you saying harmless?
Harmless. Well, I wouldn't say harmless. I would say all adrenochrome is the oxidation of adrenaline.
What is that?
Okay, you have adrenaline glands. The adrenaline glands are right above the kidneys.
Right.
And let's say when you get excited, or you'll produce adrenaline in your body. Or if you're an athlete, you're going to produce adrenaline in your body. And adrenaline has a very short shelf life. So when the adrenaline wears off, it oxidizes, it dies, and it changes from adrenaline to adrenochrome, and it enters the blood. And adrenochrome actually changes color from I think it's from a milky white, and adrenaline is a milky white. And when it oxidizes into adrenochrome, it actually changes into red, which is it looks like blood. So adrenochrome actually looks like blood, which is adrenaline oxidizing. And this was only, I would say, recently discovered. This was only discovered back in the 50s, in the 1950s. And because there is medical uses for adrenaline. And we call it epinephrine. Many people who take epinephrine, it's a very common medication. And it's used for cardiac, bleeding, asthma. And back in the 50s, you would get an inhaler for asthma that was filled with epinephrine, which is adrenaline. And if the epinephrine expired or went bad, their puffers would start to turn into adrenochrome puffers. So people would be inhaling adrenochrome through their puffers, and they started to have these mental breakdowns. They started to become schizophrenic. They had all these really crazy reactions. So that's what got science to look into it, saying, why is adrenochrome causing symptoms like schizophrenia? So they started to research it back then, and they were coming up with theories that if the body actually has too much adrenochrome in it, you could have psychotic episodes and schizophrenic. So it was a dangerous substance to have in the body. And
kind of like the symptoms of Kuru.
Yes, exactly.
Now, but hold on. Let's stay on this for a second, just for clarification.
Sure.
Adrenaline is adrenaline. I think we all understand the basic effects of adrenaline, right? Okay, it's an energy boost. It's excitement. It's a lot of different things. You're immediately alert. You're having an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's a hormone.
But adrenochrome is neutralized. It is no longer it no longer possesses the effects of adrenaline. When you say vanilla, is that what you're saying? Adrenochrome has no effect. Right.
It's the opposite.
Wow. Okay.
And the only effect that they found was it was a mild psychotic, and it changes the mental state of a person. And in high doses, it's actually a coagulant, and it affects the circulatory system. So if you take too much of adrenochrome, you could actually have cardiac arrest. It could actually kill you.
Because it makes your blood thick?
That's right. It thickens your blood.
Right.
So this, it really is a mythical drug that Hunter S. Thompson created in his book, because it's very dangerous. And this is absolutely true. You can buy this on the internet. It's in your hospitals. If you're bleeding out, they're going to give you adrenochrome because it's going to stop the bleeding.
It's a coagulant.
That's right. That's right. So this is a substance that is probably in every single hospital. It can be used, and it doesn't come from that type of conspiracy thing that is on the internet right now, where the elite take it from children. And this is the crazy thing as well, is that if you've seen the studies of people taking it, and you could even go online, I think it was, forget the name of the site where people take drugs and they write their experiences on it. But you can go there.
It's jimmychurchradio.com.
Jimmy Church Radio.
Now, really quick, because we're up against a break here. So this is interesting because the conspiracy is that it gives the elite long lives, right? It stops the aging process. You have all of these powers that nobody else has got, right? And only the elite has that. And that the blood from tortured and kidnapped children is the source of their adrenochrome, when, as it turns out, that none of this is true. You're not going to have an extended life. You're not getting superpowers. It's the exact opposite of that. And real adrenochrome is a neutralized version of adrenaline, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, and I was shopping in my local health food store, and I actually saw a product that was pure adrenochrome.
Right. Wow.
From bovines. Like, you can buy it in a health store.
Very interesting. I just learned so much about adrenochrome. I've seen all the clickbait that is involved with this. Based on your research and what I've just learned, and especially going back to Hunter S. Thompson, that's very interesting. We got to rate 1 to 4 pipes. I don't like going 0. So that's it. I'm going 1 pipe on adrenochrome, Jason.
One pipe. It's a mythical drug.
It's mythical and non-mythical at the same time.
That's right.
Right. It's both. Hunter S. Thompson made it mythical. The conspiracy is making it mythical, but it's actually the exact opposite.
Yeah, you can get it. It's in hospitals. This is not a weird thing.
Now, we're not here to break hearts, everybody. It's just that appears to be. Oh man.
Break hearts. I mean, you hear the conspiracy.
Well, the stories, look, the story's dark. I get that, but we watch dark horror films all the time. I was just watching Room 104 last night. Doesn't get any darker than what's happening there with the Duffel brothers. But the story behind it, that's a great movie. I get that. But that
conspiracy itself is an ancient conspiracy of the elite eating children to maintain their youth. That's thousands of years old.
That's a whole nother conspiracy. Yeah. But the adrenochrome element of this is not. So we're going. Cass just said 1 broken pipe. There you go. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here. This is Quittspiracy number 8. I don't know how we got here, but we did. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. More with Jason, more crazy conspiracies when we come back after this short break. Stay with us. Got a thumbs up from Jason right there. We'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
Including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. Quittspiracy number 8. All right. Jason Quitt is here. All right. So we just did the Clinton body bag count. We did the Hillary body double. Both conspiracies have been out there for quite a while, and just did Adrenochrome. And I'm going to mix it up a little bit here, Jason. We've got a long list of conspiracies, and I want to have some fun. And this next one is very, very interesting. Been hearing about this for many, many years. This goes way back, and I've had a lot of guests come on the show and discuss this. And there were some also. I remember, okay, the conspiracy is this, everybody, that Saddam Hussein had a Stargate in Iraq. Do you remember, as we start to get into this, Jason, do you remember, I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago, a video went around the internet of a cave in Afghanistan that had a Stargate inside of it, and the Marines discovered it. Do you remember that video?
I do.
And did you watch the video?
I did.
Very interesting, right?
Oh, yeah. Very, very convincing.
Very, very convincing. And so there's a lot of elements to this. And when we jump into this, of course, we've got the history of Mesopotamia and Sumer, and the possibility of this being in Iraq is very real. And what did you find out?
Well, first of all, the conspiracy is that the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003, not because of the war on terror and not because of oil, but because Saddam Hussein had a working Stargate that was discovered in Iraq. And the U.S. had to go over there and secure it before Saddam could use it for, I say, nefarious purposes.
Who built the Stargate originally, historically speaking?
Well, like according to the conspiracy articles that came out, they said that it was left here in ancient Sumer by the Anunnaki, and it was originally created and brought to Earth by the Anunnaki from Nibiru. So that, and they said that they found it in possibly underneath a pyramid or underneath a temple is where they said or claim they found it.
Now, the story that Saddam definitely pushed, this is some of his own statements, and certainly Baghdad and different cities in Iraq became a part of this, was Nebuchadnezzar. And he was a reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. And this was part of his own biography that he created for the Iraqi people, right?
Yes. And Nebuchadnezzar was very popular back then. He was in the Bible, and basically he's known for taking Jerusalem.
Now, there's another part of this for me when it comes to Nebuchadnezzar, and that is the movie Matrix, and that was the name of the ship that Neo was riding around in, right, with Morpheus.
Wow, I didn't even think of that, but yes, that is the ship.
Yeah, I remember. It was one of the things that, for me, when you're doing all of this research and you're into this sort of thing, certain names continue to pop up. And I remember watching The Matrix and Neo going, so where are we? Well, we're on the Nebuchadnezzar. It's a ship that, I was like, oh, interesting tie-in, right? Okay, all right. So the conspiracy is, if I understand it correctly, that Bush needed to get over to Iraq to get to this Stargate before Saddam figured out how to use it. Was that it?
Yeah, so he wouldn't basically become Nebuchadnezzar, take his throne, and be very powerful. So they had to come together and stop him. But when you really think about this conspiracy, you'd have to think that 9/11 and everything leading up to it was all a ruse just to get into Iraq and get that out. And, if that took 2+ years, it's kind of a strange plan to wait that long and all that planning to go into it. So, when I heard this conspiracy originally, it was very interesting, but also I grew up watching, I saw Stargate the movie in theaters when I was younger. So hearing about this, it's like, oh, that's, like the movie Stargate.
Well, okay, so there is that part of it. The other part that props up this conspiracy theory is that, okay, the original Gulf War and Kuwait and what went down there, and it was all over oil, absolutely holds water. The second invasion, which I felt that Bush wanted to finish off the job that his dad had started, I think that had a lot to do with it. But that everything that was presented, the weapons of mass destruction, anthrax, the vials of anthrax, and that was presented, the fake letter that the British intelligence and Tony Blair had presented turned out to be fake. And that is documented. That is part of history. So that the second invasion, all of the reasons for going in to Iraq the second time around, and we're still there, was all on fake information. So that's what props up this whole conspiracy theory, because we know all of the reasons for going to Iraq the second time was all disinformation. And maybe the real reason was something like this Stargate. And that makes a lot of sense if you're looking for evidence to support a conspiracy theory.
And back then, people were going into the museums and destroying history. They were just destroying everything they could get their hands on that showed their past in ancient Sumer.
It was like Ur, right? Yeah. All of these World Heritage sites. The museums were absolutely 100% getting pillaged. There's no telling how many artifacts that are out there in the antiquities market right now that were part of looting of Iraqi museums of Mesopotamian artifacts.
Yes, and artifacts were a big theme in the media. They would always show videos of people pillaging artifacts. So when this conspiracy came out that there was a Stargate there, you put, they're pillaging artifacts, Stargates. It's in our minds what a Stargate is because we have the show, we have the movie back then. So everything is based off of things that exist in our minds already.
So what do we do with this? Because we've all seen the videos of looted Iraqi museums that literally were emptied. There was nothing in the museums unless it weighed over, 20 tons. But everything else was removed and disappeared. So yeah, what are we left with to assume now? Okay, so let me ask you this, Jason. Do you think that Saddam Hussein was in possession of a Stargate, a working one or not? That part of it, no, it's not part of the conversation. But was there something that Saddam Hussein, a Stargate, that he was in possession of?
I really, in my personal opinion, I doubt it. And I also remember when this story came out, there was pictures that went with the story. And I just posted it on Twitter. And this was the most popular picture whenever you heard this story. And it was convincing to a lot of people. I've seen this picture in YouTube videos, style documentary videos on this. I've seen this picture over and over and over again. But if you know how to use the internet, you can find that it was just a photoshopped image. And they used the Stargate from the show in the movie Stargate. Yeah.
Right. It's one of my favorite movies, man. I watch it over and over again. One of my favorite movies.
And it really does. And here's the thing. The theme of this conspiracy follows the storyline of Stargate, which is 10 years previous to the conspiracy being created. So there's a lot of material to use to get this conspiracy going.
So what you're suggesting is, by the way, on this, I'm gonna vote right now. I'm gonna go one pipe. I'm going one pipe, and the reason why I'm going one pipe is that if the conspiracy theory wasn't worded, taken from and lifted from the movie, then we have something else to go on here. That Bush went in to make sure that the Sumerian and Mesopotamian artifacts didn't fall into the wrong hands, and that there was something. But when you tie in nearly word for word the movie Stargate into this, then it's plagiarism. That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah. And I did an image search on these pictures, and all of them were basically taken right from the movie. And then they just put a sepia tone or black and white to it and blurred parts of it and said this is an original image from the 1920s when it was discovered. So the story itself doesn't make any sense, because if they discovered it in the 20s, just like the movie Stargate, why would you be fighting now, which is almost 100 years later, when you knew that they had this since the 20s? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and Saddam wouldn't have been found, in an underground cave on a farm. Right.
He would be off planet.
He'd be off planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going I'm going one pipe on this, but I want to say that I could easily be swayed in the other direction if there was something more legit here. Where are you going?
I'm going one pipe. And you know what? I actually started to research the sources where a lot of this was coming from and the people that were talking about it.
Right.
And when I plugged those names into Google and I tried to search them, the only articles that it pulled up were the articles about the Stargate.
From one source so many years ago.
That's right.
And we don't need to.
It's like the person never existed.
Right. Okay. All right. So there you go, everybody. Stargate in Iraq. That was the reason for the 2003 invasion by then President Bush and his administration. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it all come in now. One pipe. Yeah, it's this is one that I want to support, but I can't. I can't. There's too many holes in it. So there you go. I'm looking at the clock. We got time to go ahead and get one more in. Jason. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you pick the next one.
Would you like to do Siri?
I know it. I've already got it. Siri. You know what? Go ahead. What's the conspiracy behind Siri? There's so many, but this one is tasty.
In 2013, Siri went viral on social media when asking the question, what is July 27th, 2014? And in response to that question, Siri responds, it's Sunday, 27th of July, 2014, opening gates of Hades.
Now, this is so good. This is so good. Now, there are two parts to this conspiracy, though. We have the 2013 opening the gates of Hades, which is tasty. Oh, man. And documented, by the way. So we have that part. And then we're going to get to in a second here, 2020 and what Siri is saying about 2020. I would say that this Siri doing this. Oh, hold on. Let's see. How do I activate? Okay, Siri. Hello. Okay. Why isn't my Siri opening? Siri, I have a question. Okay, I'm trying to get to this. Siri, I have a question. Siri, what happened on Sunday, July 27th, 2014? It's right here. The gates of Hades opened. Now, one would have to say that, and it says also here that it was a historical event. Wow. This is crazy town, what is popping up here. Okay, so Siri hasn't actually changed the comments about this date.
Nope. And it's interesting because some users get that response and some users don't get that response.
Did you try it today?
No, I don't speak to the algorithms. But they listen to me.
Wow.
But
I'm reading I didn't try this earlier today. I'm reading everything about this date. That's pretty disturbing. Was it were people freaking out?
People were freaking out. They thought in 2013 that the world would end in 2014 on the date that Siri predicted. And obviously, if you Google that date right now and see what happened in history, it's just a normal Earth Day.
Sort of, except for the Vatican was on this date making statements. The Pope was out making statements on this day. And I'm reading it right here. Very, very interesting. Was it a glitch? Was it's still popping up with Siri here. I couldn't get Siri to go vocal. I think I have Siri actually turned off on my phone. So
Apple claims that it's nothing more than a glitch. And they were trying to figure out the reason why. And they said it must have been confused with something called the Chinese Ghost Month, which starts on the 7th month of the lunar year. And the legend of Ghost Month is both the gates of heaven and hell open on that date. So they said there might have been a confusion on that. But if you go right now and ask, when will 2020 end, it'll give you a number. So there's a weird conspiracy now saying that if you ask Siri, when will 2020 end?
Siri, when will 2020 end? Okay. Well, it gave me something bland. It's going to end on Thursday, December 31st, 2020. Oh, man.
So sometimes it will give how many hours are left in the day, which freaks people out.
Siri, when will the madness of 2020 end? Okay, there you go. Now it's giving me sports answers.
But if you actually ask Siri, when will the world end? It will give you an answer. The world changes. Sometimes it changes a lot, but last time I checked, it was still around.
Siri, when will the world end? You're right. Okay, so this is the world changes. Sometimes it changes a lot. But the last time I checked, it was still around.
So there's a lot of glitches on Siri, and you could actually find websites where it will tell you all the questions to ask Siri to get very strange or funny answers.
So where do we go with this? Is this part of, look, we're talking about machine learning, obvious attempts at artificial intelligence. Siri is supposed to be an assistant. Sometimes Siri can be comedic and be out there for a laugh. Right now, the world is freaked out, and giving these kinds of answers to these kinds of questions isn't the way to go. Apple knows this, don't they?
I'm sure. And there's a lot of programmers trying to figure out, what went wrong or how did the algorithm come to that conclusion? Because remember, it is a lot based on algorithms. So if Hades opened in 2014, did we get the memo, or are we witnessing it today?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if we do a deeper dive into this, what happens if you ask when the gates of Hades open? That's coming from somebody else. Okay, let me look at the clock here. Siri, when will the gates of Hades open? Sorry, I don't know when that is. I'm wondering if there is also something tied in to the Large Hadron Collider on that date of Sunday, July 27, 2014. I will look into this and see what the activity was over at the Large Hadron Collider. Now, okay, so Jason,
yes.
I'm very interested with your pipe vote on this. Is there? I'm going to say this: Siri knowing stuff in advance, certainly with 2020, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and being an assistant and getting information out there that probably shouldn't have been leaked. You know what? I'm going 4 pipes, Jason. I'm going all in.
Huh.
I'm okay with it.
Too. Opposite spectrum. It's plausible, but I don't think the algorithms are that good yet.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. How much have you explored Siri and asking questions?
Never.
Why is that?
I don't really have questions that I feel comfortable asking my phone.
Right. No, I don't use Siri at all. When it comes to trying to figure out life, whether it's directions, how many days are left in the year, what's the weather like in my area, I don't do it. I don't use Siri for anything. I do use Siri. Rita and I were driving. I'm not going to say what. Rita and I were driving the other night after the show, and we busted out Siri to have a laugh. I'm not going to get into the details there, but that's where I go. Siri, are you part of the CIA? I think that's an obvious question, right? And I think that we really need to be aware of the intrusion in our lives where Rita and I are having a conversation privately in the car, and Siri jumps in and is misunderstanding words that we are saying in a conversation and having that get activated. No, I don't dig it. Siri, are you part of the CIA? Siri, are you part of the CIA? Jason Quitt is here. It's Quittspiracy number 8. We've got a lot more to rate. Everybody out there, Gates of Hell, 4 pipes. Oh, wow. Okay, Gates of Hell, 4 pipes. Very interesting. Fadernauts, where are you going with this one? We've got all the polls up. Do you speak to the algorithms? Right now, not so much for me. There you go. That's very interesting. Do you use Siri? And do you think that Siri is part of disinformation or leaking stuff that probably shouldn't be talked about? This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'm going to take a quick break right here. We'll be right back. More with Jason Quitt. We've got lots to do. And if we have time, we'll get to your phone calls. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt with 2 T's. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to GetTheT.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's GetTheT.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
Let's face it, you've always wanted to do a sky watch and see your first UFO. Today, it's easy. Just get your own HP7 3B Cobalt Jimmy Church Edition night vision goggles from Hoffman's Optics. This is the same U.S. military system that I use, featuring a Generation 3 blue phosphor image tube. That's right, it's blue, not black and green. This is the only blue system in the world, and it's waterproof, lightweight, combat-proof, simple to use, and ready to go. Hoffman's Optics helped create night vision sky watches, and now you can see what everyone has been talking about each night from your own backyard. Just call 760-231-9929. That's 760-231-9929. You can click on the banners on our site or visit UFOnightvisiongoggles.com. That's UFOnightvisiongoggles.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Quittspiracy number 8 with Jason Quitt. Tomorrow night, Johnny Enoch is here talking about Sylvia Brown's 2005 book, Prophecy. And Wednesday night, John Greenwald. Oh, we've got lots of breaking news. We're going to be covering all of that with John Greenwald. Also, tomorrow night, I don't do politics on this show, Jason. Everybody knows that. I do the conspiracy of politics, though. And tomorrow night, during this broadcast, is going to be the first presidential debate. We'll see if it actually happens. But the other part about that is Wednesday night with John Greenwald, we're going to be discussing a little bit. I'm going to spend a segment on this. Who would make the better disclosure president? And we went through 4 years of Trump, President Trump, and we didn't get disclosure out of President Trump. Is there a possibility that Joe Biden would be the better disclosure president when it comes to UFOs? And Jason, it's going to be interesting tomorrow night. I can't watch the debate. You're wide open. Are you going to watch the debate tomorrow night?
No. I try my best to stay out of politics. especially being Canadian.
Yeah, this year is the best year if you're going to stay out of politics. I have never. One of the things that I enjoyed going up to 2016 and now 2020 is, and the rest of the world depended on this, and that is the stability of the United States. Rock solid, right? You can't, it's just rock solid, and we depend on the United States for moral support, for being stable. Other countries around the world going nuts and crazy, but they could always look at the United States for just being stable. It's not that kind of party in 2020, is it?
No.
We
the
are the
U.S. right now is not looking so good.
No, it's the opposite of stable.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of stable. We need to get this boat back upright. And wow, absolutely crazy. If this is the year that you needed to stock up on food supplies, this is the year. What and this next conspiracy is exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to get to that in a second.
I think 2020 is the year of conspiracies.
It certainly is. And you guys up north, Canada, with so much of what we do down here, we are connected at the hip. I mean, we are two countries that have enjoyed a long history of supporting each other. I know that Canada thinks that in large that the United States is crazy. And you guys are just stable and sane up there. How are you guys looking at the United States right now? Are you guys a little nervous?
It's quite scary, especially to see the riots in all the cities and the fires burning in the West. There is a lot of problems happening right now, and it's unstable. And you know me, I travel to the States all the time. If the borders were open, right now I'd probably stay in Canada.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just never thought that we would be here, and for so many different reasons. It's not just one. The pandemic, politics, racism, the divide, the things that are happening down here in the United States, I never thought would happen ever. I just always thought that we would, as Americans, realize that we're America first. That's what's most important. The other stuff we need to work out later. I just never thought that we would be here. It's crazy. I'm nervous. I don't know. And will it be? This is the thing, Jason, and certainly Canada is part of this conversation. Is this something that is just going to roll over? We're going to get through it, and we'll be back on track, and everything is going to be A-okay. That's normally the way I look at everything, whether it's natural disasters or politics or religion or anything else that happens. We just roll through it, get back to being America, and things are just fine. I don't feel that this time around.
What I'm seeing is quite a polarity. More you're with us or against us mentality. And I'm seeing this more and more in the United States, especially with party lines, like you're either Republican or Democrat, and that's it. Don't talk to me either way. So this election, whatever the results are in November, there's going to be problems because America is divided really right down the center. And it's quite scary. I know that I can come on your show and, we can joke about certain things, and this is great, but a lot of these topics, I couldn't talk to certain friends of mine about these topics because they're too divided on the opposite side. And if I try to say, look at it this way, maybe it's different. It's like, oh, you're with them.
Right.
They put you in a
And it doesn't
category.
and it doesn't matter who the them is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's what blows my mind because and I'm an American first. And I go back and think about my childhood, and when I say childhood, all the way up to 2016, where the one thing, the fundamental that makes America great is that everybody is different. And we were always able to talk about different things, and we wake up the next day and we're still friends. We're still Americans first, and that's it. I'll be very specific because this gets down to this next conspiracy. It's exactly what we're talking about. Look, I grew up living in different cities around this country and around the world. Had a variety of different friends, and having different friends and neighbors is what I enjoyed. And July 4th would roll around, Jason, and the crazy neighbor across the street, the other one that was next door, it didn't matter, right? Vietnam vet, right? And then we had a hippie family. We had a family from India living over here. And next door, I had somebody that was on the production line at Chrysler, across somebody that worked at an auto parts store. Or whatever, right? Everybody was different. But July 4th rolled around. We had a blowout barbecue and lit fireworks in the street. And all of us got together, and it didn't matter what our differences were. This was the 4th of July. We threw a party, and we had a great time. That's it. And then the next day, everybody went off into their own worlds. But that's what makes America great, is that everybody on the block was different. And we've lost sight of that, man. And I don't know why, if you're different now, you're the enemy, no matter who you are. It's crazy. I just don't know how we got here. Which leads us to, is it like that it's not like that in Canada.
I mean, there's problems, I would say, everywhere. But I was very fortunate to grow up in Toronto, which is a multicultural city. And I went to, an elementary school where basically every ethnicity was there. And you go over to your friend's house. Like one of my close friends was from El Salvador. And we'd go over there for Christmas, and I'd be eating food from South America or Central America. I don't know exactly where it is.
Central.
And I love the culture. So growing up, I got to be in so many different cultures: Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Yugoslavian, Serbian, all over the place. And that's what made my life interesting and great and it's all surrounded by food. That's all I have to say. It's just great
you're
food
right.
everywhere.
And if we look at what makes Chicago great for me, or New York, or Miami, or Houston, or Dallas, or Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, what makes these cities great? Growing up in Chicago, we had Polish neighborhoods, we had Greek neighborhoods, we had Italian neighborhoods, we had black neighborhoods, we had white neighborhoods, where these ethnic cultures and backgrounds is what was celebrated. Democrat, Catholic, Republican, Christian, it didn't matter. None of that mattered. Nobody gave a crap. That's what made everything so great. And now that is what is wrong with this country. I don't get it. Now let's get to this. Conspiracy, the next one up on the block tonight. Obama controlled the weather. Now, as crazy as this sounds, there is something to this conspiracy theory, Jason, right? We can laugh.
It's getting late. I'm starting to laugh.
No, we can laugh. This one goes back to May of 2013. And the conspiracy is Obama, then President Barack Obama, weaponized HARP tech to create a devastating tornado and in Oklahoma. Now, a disclaimer here: 24 people died. Absolutely, with the families and everything else that is tied to this. Homes, communities destroyed, right? Well, conspiracy theorists jumped in and said that he did this intentionally to distract America and the media off of all of the political scandals that were happening in Washington, D.C. And at that time, Jason, what were the scandals that were going on?
The big one was Benghazi. There was an IRS scandal, and there was actually a couple Department of Justice leaks. So there was a lot of things going on in Washington at this time. And, leave it to the conspiracy theorists that say, a big tornado that's devastating Oklahoma. Well, that's really just a distraction because, they don't like Obama or what's going on. So that's this conspiracy. When I first heard it, Obama controls the weather. We're not talking about Obama as like this godlike figure that can just create hurricanes and tornadoes, but that the HARP arrays up in Alaska and actually all over the world, somehow Obama used those or weaponized those to create any weather conditions he wants to help distract from political things, which to me is a very strange concept.
Now, before we continue, do you think that the United States government and other governments around the world have the ability to control the weather?
I 100% believe, and I think we actually did a show on this before, that weather modification is an actual fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. They do modify the weather. And this goes back like even until the 60s with seeding the clouds with rain and raining out things. Even in Vietnam, they used it. So this has been used for a long time. But to create a natural disaster like a tornado in Oklahoma, which has lots of tornadoes all the time, I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for a tornado to hit Oklahoma. It's out of the ordinary where it causes a great deal of devastation just because it hit a populated area. But if you look at it historically, 2019 was actually the most tornadoes recorded in Oklahoma since they measured it. So last year was more tornadoes in Oklahoma than any other year recorded.
Yeah, if you're going to be picking a location as a conspiracy theorist to suggest weather control, and you pick Oklahoma or Kansas or Indiana, Illinois, right, and Tennessee, Texas, for tornado activity, again, it's like going back to Las Vegas. You can't place that bet because that's Tornado Alley. That's all they have there is tornadoes. Tragic. But if you're chasing tornadoes, you're chasing tornadoes. If you're one of those, twister tornado chasers, you're in Oklahoma, right? That's what you're going to see. But there's another element to this. If you are more effective than a military invasion, I would say, instead of sending in and the logistics and the expense to send in your army and your standing army or navy, no, it'd be much easier to whip out some weather control. There's a reason why North Korea hasn't grown any crops in decades. And I'm being very, very serious here. I think there's some serious weather modification that is going over North Korea because a couple miles to the south, you jump the border and South Korea does just fine. It just feels a little strange to me, right? Well, that's what you do. There are countries in the Middle East that have absolutely disastrous weather, and it's not because it's a desert community. It's that there is some weather control that is going on overhead, right?
Oh yeah. This stuff, I would say, if this was the topic, I would give it 4 pipes. Being, can they manipulate the weather in those ways? And absolutely, they can. And it's public knowledge. I mean, they were seeding the sky in the Olympics in China. I believe that's when it was, when so it wouldn't snow, or it would snow.
Yeah, I think
or
that
would rain or wouldn't rain.
Right, absolutely.
And that was in the news.
They do that here in Southern California with all of the ski installations here. They're absolutely seeding the clouds to get snow in. But there's also in the Central Valley here in California where we have droughts and suddenly rain. It feels to me that there was weather control that goes on here in California for a lot of reasons, to control the food supply, to make sure that food is expensive. You don't want to have too much. Monsanto is selling the seeds, right? Leasing the equipment, and also handling the weather modification overhead. And they've got control of the food supply and the weather and the seeds and the leasing and the money that goes into farming all across the United States. So they have a vested interest to control it from beginning to end.
And I hear that this year, 2020, has been a pretty terrible year for farmers. So you're going to see some probably high prices and shortage of crops coming up soon. And, if we get hit again with lockdowns and stuff, it could be a perfect storm.
Well, and this is the year we're not going to have a wine vintage, right? Wow. Yeah, because of all the fires, and entire vineyards have been wiped out. That's the first thing. If a vineyard has survived, well, their grapes taste like smoke, right? So that's going to wipe out an entire year of the wine industry.
Wouldn't that describe 2020 the best, is a vintage that tasted like smoke?
Yeah, no, I said that. I actually said that. Oh, man. 5 years from now, some 2020 smoke wine is going to be expensive. You and I are going to be at some steakhouse, right?
It'll be like mezcal, right?
Yeah, mezcal. Oh, that's exactly it. Now, what do we do with something like this? Because when we specifically talk about Benghazi or the IRA, there wasn't much deflection here. Benghazi was one of the most talked about stories ever, and weather modification did nothing to slow that story down.
People are still talking about it. People are still arguing about it. So I don't see how a tornado at that one point in time would do anything to get those political scandals off the table.
No, and the IRS is still in the news, the Department of Justice. So this is something that's talked about every single day, and I don't think much deflection. If that was really used by Obama, it was pretty ineffective.
Absolutely. So
now what do we do here? It's almost like we have two different conspiracies. We have the conspiracy of weather modification, and then we have the conspiracy of Obama controlling the weather in Oklahoma to deflect off of Benghazi, right? It's two different things. So if I'm going there, Obama controlled the weather in Oklahoma to deflect on Benghazi, I'm going one pipe. Does the government use weather modification as a weapon, as a tool? That's a 4-pipe conspiracy. I'm all in.
I'm with you 100%. This conspiracy, it's dead, like one pipe, but weather modification, 4 pipes any day of the week.
So Obama controlled the weather in Oklahoma, Jason, to deflect off of Benghazi, the IRS, and the Department of Justice. There you're going one pipe.
Yeah, bunk.
Weather modification by the United States and other countries around the world as a weapon or as a tool, 4 pipes.
Yeah, and it's very easy, and you see this a lot in conspiracy culture, that when natural disaster takes place, immediately, like the second that the disaster happens, they already know who's funding it, like George Soros.
Right.
They already know the players involved and how they did it, even before they get the information on it.
Now, and what about the hurricanes and other massive natural disasters? Like right now, we're dealing with fires out west. We just went through a pretty gnarly hurricane season too, as well. But I don't think any of it distracted what is going on in Washington right now with President Trump and Joe Biden and all of the other insane controversies that are happening in D.C.
No, it's life goes on in many places, so it wouldn't be that big of a distraction. But we're talking about weather modification in a massive scale, not just this field and that field, or this small area.
And what about staying on this before we hit the break? Here's the elephant in the room, where we have the pandemic that is worldwide. The numbers are through the roof, and the conspiracies that are around the pandemic are one thing, but the pandemic, as big as it is, and it has affected the world economy today and for years to come. This is not over by any stretch, but it didn't even have the power to overtake the election year.
No. So to use it as a distraction, I don't think it's used for a distraction purpose. It could be for a much larger scale thing that we will see trickling down in a couple of years from now, the effects of 2020 on future economies and agriculture, or borders, or laws being put in place. So what we're seeing now, we may not see for a couple of years.
Let's take our break right here. Jason Quitt is our guest. When we come back, we've got two more conspiracies that are tied into each other. And now we're going to have some fun. It's a little bit different. Just stay with us. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt with 2 T's. It's right there on Twitter. We'll be right back. This is Fade to Black. Stay with us.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to forbiddenknowledge.tv. That's forbidden knowledge with the number 4, forbiddenknowledge.tv. Again, visit forbiddenknowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Quittspiracy number 8 with Jason Quitt. And all of our polls are up. You can follow Rita for them. I've been going through and started to retweet the polls. I didn't do that earlier. But here's a conspiracy for you, Jason. The Adrenochrome poll will not post in Twitter.
Yay.
Yeah, no, it won't post. It says, we are having problems. We are having problems. We are having problems. And the Hillary poll, it doesn't appear to be here either. It's just interesting to me. But the Adrenochrome, no, that is Twitter will not allow that poll to post. It ain't happening. Yeah. No, it's not happening.
For sure it won't.
No, it's not. It's not going there. I'm looking for the rest of the polls. They were here earlier. There's Saddam. I don't see. Oh, here's the gates of Hades. Okay, so I got this one in. All right, yeah, but Adrenochrome and Twitter, they don't go together. That's oil and water. It ain't happening.
Too hot.
No, too hot. Obama weather control. Okay, that one popped up. Okay, that one happened. Okay, I think I've got most of them in. I don't have the Hillary poll. That one's not here. No.
To be fair, next time we'll do conspiracies with the Republican Party.
Yeah, that was just, you know what? Everybody out there that is probably going, oh, man, Church, Quit. This is just interesting stuff that had nothing to do with red or blue or anything like that. So there you go. Yeah, we didn't even get into Benghazi.
Conspiracy is one color.
Yeah, conspiracy is one color, no doubt.
Dark.
Including this next one. Now, okay. We've got these next two conspiracies are related, and they also go back to Obama using weather control to distract attention off of a subject in the media, which is what this next conspiracy is about. And that is Iran killed Michael Jackson. Now, before you go, wait a minute here. Hold on a minute. Stop. Just hear this out. Okay? Jason, I exposed you to this conspiracy today. You didn't know anything about it, and probably a large part of our audience has never heard about it. Now, when you jumped into this, okay, what's the conspiracy? Why would Iran want to kill Michael Jackson?
Well, that's the thing. It took me a while to try to figure that out. It seems completely unrelated. And I mean, what could be the connection between Michael Jackson's death and Iran? But the conspiracy goes that Michael Jackson died on the exact same day as the Iranian election, which caused a complete blackout on social media of the Iranian election. So everybody was just distracted with Michael Jackson's death. And what happened at this point in history was that this was a pivotal point in Iranian history. And the majority thought that they were going to get a new power structure, a new government in place. And they were so excited, and they had the Arab Spring behind them, and the revolution was going. And on the day of the blackout, I can never say his name right, so they have to correct me. Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, well done.
Yes. Okay. He reclaimed his power with an overwhelming 62% of the vote, which and they calculated that vote within a couple hours of the polls closing, which is unheard of. So they knew that there was some type of voter fraud, some type of, he just stole the election. And because that there was a media blackout of the election just because of Michael Jackson, that nobody kind of cared or looked into it, and said it took the whole movement and stopped it. So there was supposed to be a recounting of the votes to see if it was fraud, but because the whole world was mourning Michael Jackson, he just stepped back into power, and that's it. So the conspiracy is, did Iran purposely kill Michael Jackson for the purpose of, they knew it would be the perfect distraction they needed to get away with regaining power and stopping the revolution in Iran?
Yeah, at that time, let's not forget, the Arab Spring was in full swing. We had what was going down in Egypt. Big deal. Social media played a part in all of this. I would say Anonymous had a big part of this too as well, trying to keep the internet up and running and things. But at the same time, what was going on in Iran? You remember all the Iran green T-shirts that were the big fad, and the young generation over there protesting in the streets, which never happens in Iran. And it seemed like the wheels were in motion, that this was actually going to happen. And the next thing you know, Michael Jackson is dead, and the Iran election happened, and nobody knew a thing, right? Social media was blacked out. Everything was over with, and it's sad to say, but everybody that was part of that movement in Iran was immediately forgotten about.
Yep. Yep. So I would say this is the bigger question. Did Michael Jackson's death in the United States affect or alter Iranian history?
It did.
It absolutely did.
Now, what do we? Okay. This is such an interesting conversation for a couple of reasons. One, did the conspiracy is that Iran killed Michael Jackson? Okay, let's say Michael Jackson died of the injections of, what was it called?
Propofol
by his doctor, who did go to prison, right? And he was convicted of that, I think manslaughter or whatever. But history has a weird way of bringing up the word irony, right? And so that Michael Jackson's death had everything to do with Iran, but it was unintentional.
Right. And the conspiracy is saying that it is intentional.
Right.
Which would be this is the strangest plan.
That's irony. That's irony. That's the definition of irony, right?
Yes.
Crazy when you think about it, and that his doctor injecting him with propofol. He was in rehearsals for his new tour, right? I think he was on his way over to England to do some big, huge concert at Wembley. I could be wrong historically, but that everything was in the works. Everything was moving forward. His doctor stopped the tour, killed Michael Jackson. That's part of history. That's fact. What that doctor didn't know is that he was going to keep the Iranian president in power. That's the trippy part.
The butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect, right? And you never know. You never know. So now, before we get to the next conspiracy, obviously we have to rate this. Are we in the middle of another rating of actually two conspiracies? So let's go with the first one. Let's go with the conspiracy of Iran killed Michael Jackson. I'm going one pipe.
I'm going one pipe. No connection.
Now, the next conspiracy is, did Michael Jackson's death alter the Iranian election? With that, I'm going 4 pipes.
I'm convinced with the push of social media that it did alter Iranian history.
So what's your rating?
So 4 pipes.
4 pipes. Crazy, isn't it? Just absolutely bizarre. Now, let's go to our next conspiracy. And we're going to have a long conversation about this. Wow. Michael Jackson is still alive. Now, okay, so before we, what's weird is we have 2 conspiracies here. One, that Iran killed Michael Jackson, right? Okay, that's the conspiracy. And then the next conspiracy is that MJ is still alive. Now, both conspiracies can't be right, obviously, but there's reasons to suggest that Michael Jackson is still alive. What is this conspiracy?
Well, this started to get social media attention in 2018, so not long ago. And it all started with a video from Michael Jackson's sister, LaToya Jackson, and she went to go visit Michael's tomb. And she videotaped it. So she posted a video on social media of her going into the tomb, and there's flowers. It's a lovely space, but on the tomb itself, his name is not there. There's no name on the tomb. So a YouTuber started to make a lot of noise saying the reason why there is no name on the tomb is because Michael Jackson is not dead. And then it started to get this whole traction started again.
Now, the next time you come out to California, his tomb is at Forest Lawn, not very far from our house. It's right here. We need to go out there. I want to verify this, right?
Oh, I'm down for that.
Yeah. I want to verify this for a couple of reasons. One, did she videotape the right tomb? It's almost hard to believe that his name wouldn't be there, but maybe it's not there because it would attract too much attention and tourists and you and I and people like you and I going out there to see his tomb. But we can do that. So maybe we should road trip it out. You, Rita, Monica, and I head out and videotape Michael Jackson's tomb. But there's the question about his birth certificate. I hate bringing up birth certificates, but what's wrong with that?
On his birth certificate, his middle name is Joseph, and on his death certificate, it's Joe. And I may have switched those.
Now, and then also his passport. His name is misspelled on his passport, right? His passport says Joe.
Yes. And, when they asked the family for clarification, they just said, no, that's correct. It's Joe. So when, people in conspiracy look at this, they say, well, the death certificate doesn't match the birth certificate, doesn't match the passport. This is obviously signs that he is still alive.
Now, he would have many reasons to fake his own death. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's the most famous guy in the world. The most famous person in the world. Who's more famous, him or Paul McCartney?
No, Michael. Listen, I grew up in that generation.
Right? Who's more famous than Michael Jackson? Even dead, he's still, right?
One of the top earners in the entertainment industry today.
I read a fader fact a couple of months ago about Michael Jackson. He was so famous. Check this out, Jason. Maybe you heard this. That he never visited a supermarket. Now, I didn't know what that was, right? So he hired actors to go into a supermarket and act like shoppers, shut the supermarket down so he could go in and push a shopping cart, do shopping, and go through the checkout line and pay for his food. That's how famous he was. It's a fact. It really happened.
I heard that, and it just makes me sad to think that a human being can be so alone that they have to literally pay for an experience like that. Is unbelievable how famous he was.
Now, would you want to be that famous? Everybody wants fame, right? Everybody wants to be a movie star, a famous athlete. A YouTuber, right, with 20 million subscribers. Everybody wants this today. Would you want that kind of fame?
No, you would be out of your mind to live a life of that type of fame. You don't have a life. There is no life.
My level of celebrity, which is ridiculously small and stupid, is too much. Even what and you, Jason, right? Your level of celebrity, it's too much, isn't it?
It's too much.
It's too much. Can you imagine kicking it up notches like that, where you're up to the point where it's out of control?
I couldn't. It would be a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
I've had a couple of friends, notable, and I said, "Hey, man, come down to this conference." Right? Come down to Conscious Life Expo. Come out to Contact in the Desert. You'll love it. And they're like, dude, I can't go in public. I just can't do it. I would love to. I would love to come and hang out, but no. And it's like that for so many. And like I said, my little taste of it is too much. I definitely don't want another level of this. The things that I used to be able to do, I can't do anymore. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't post. I can't do this. I can't comment. I can't say what I really feel. I can't do it. It blows. It truly blows. Now imagine taking it up to another level. So certainly Michael Jackson and others have bona fide reasons for walking away.
And he would have the means to do it. I mean, with the amount of income that he's probably accumulated through his life, he could probably get another identity. He could probably change the way he looks even more, and start a life being a normal person. And you know what? A part of me wishes that upon him. I wish that is what happened to him.
The times that I have been around celebrities and I've seen what happens with them out in a public place, there's a certain part where you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder what that's like. And I know that most celebrities need to have that because it feels good in the moment. When you're walking out and you're doing a press junket or it's a movie premiere and you've got thousands of people in the street and the roads are blocked off and the police are there and everybody's yelling your name, that's pretty cool. And that's an adrenaline rush, right? So there's that part of it, but there's the other part. They're not going to supermarkets. They can't go to They can't go to a movie theater. They can't do all of the things that everybody else can enjoy. That part of life is removed. Now, when we look at this, and we're going to rate this here in a second, 1 to 4 pipes, what did we do with the other stories like this? Tupac, right? Elvis, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix. We can go back into the past with these other celebrity deaths where the conspiracy is that they faked their own death. They couldn't take it anymore. Do you think that there is something to it?
I would say with anybody that has celebrity status at that level, there will always be a percentage of their followers or fans that will want to believe that they survived or lived on in a way. I mean, people still believe Elvis is alive, and I'm pretty sure I know where to find him.
What?
Out in someone's backyard, hanging out.
Oh, man. What was the movie Elvis at the retirement home in Texas?
Oh, yeah.
And was it Imhotep? He was.
Yeah.
The mummy shows up.
It was a Bruce Campbell film.
That was Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is Elvis. Right. Yeah. What was that called? Somebody help me out on Twitter.
Yeah, I think you got it. Hotep or something.
Yeah. Man, that was a good movie. I might watch that tonight after the show. That's a really good one. Elvis at the retirement home. You're right. It's Bruce Campbell. But going back to this, I mean, certainly Michael Jackson, out of everybody else that we could say is a celebrity that would fake their own death, Michael was at another level, certainly. Do you think that he faked his own death? Do you think he's still alive?
Personally, I don't. I do think, because remember, what was his name? Conrad. Yeah. Conrad Murray. That's it.
His physician.
I faced a long trial with his family present, and he was placed in jail for the murder. So people's lives were affected. His family was affected. So I really believe that he did die from an overdose, a fatal overdose.
Baba Hotep.
And, but there is a part of me, that I really hope that he's still alive and he got a chance at life. That's what I would put out there.
Okay. Michael Jackson is still alive. Yeah, we almost got to do 2 different versions of this. I'm going 2 pipes. I can't go 1. I can't go 4. I've got to go 2 pipes. There are some things with this that are funky, and that is his tomb, the birth certificate, and the passport. There's some other stuff here we didn't get a chance to get into. But there's that part of it that makes you wonder. But certainly, you always have to go to motive and means. He had the motive. He had the means. There's no question about it. And there's everything else that was going on with the criminal cases and the children that were surfacing. He had been arrested. I remember when he was arrested at Van Nuys Airport. And everything else that he was dealing with in his personal life that was in addition to the celebrity and his closed down world. So did he have means and motivation and motive? Absolutely he did. And then you apply everything else to this, which is the evidence in the case. So I'm going 2 pipes.
And I'm going to go 2 pipes because there's an episode of The Simpsons about this.
Yes, I did. We didn't. Okay. Oh, what was in the episode? We got 2 minutes.
It was the episode with Michael Jackson. And basically, he convinced Homer that he was the real Michael Jackson when he wasn't. And there was one scene where they throw the newspaper on his front doorstep, and the headline read Michael Jackson hoax. So people said, okay, this is a predictive programming that there will be a Michael Jackson hoax coming up in the future.
Now, what do you make of that? The Simpsons had so many examples of predicting the future, some of it uncannily realistic and spot on. Man, is it Mandela effect? Is it time travel? Is Mike Judge a time traveler? Does he have a Stargate? Does he have, that's our conspiracy. Mike Judge has Saddam's Stargate. There is something about the Simpsons, man.
Well, I think in an interview, one of the main writers was asked that exact question, and he said that the secret of writing that way is that history always repeats itself.
That picture of President Trump with the kings of Saudi Arabia over the crystal ball thing, and they're all the blue light, and they're all standing. Yep. And the actual photograph 20 years later, 25 years later, is the same picture. I mean, that's not creative writing. That is prophecy.
Okay. I think that might have came out after the event happened. The internet's kind of strange that way. You'll get things with.
Is that true? Man, you're killing me. Is that true? What about the one with Trump coming down the escalator? Do you remember that?
Yes, I think that was done after as well. I mean, they took that scene right off afterwards. Yeah, I hate to burst your.
You better be factually correct in stating this right now. Twitter.
I did research it in the past, and I saw that. But there are things that The Simpsons did predict, because there was an episode with when Lisa became president, and there was a graph. The Secretary Milhouse was there showing the graph before they walked into the room, and it said the economy crashed after President Trump, and this was years before President Trump. So there is things in there, but it's funny. Nobody talks about that, but they talk about the fake stuff.
Okay. Fadernauts, I know that we don't eat our young here, and nobody's going to debunk Jason on any of this. But if you wanted to, maybe suggest or do a little research on your own and pop it up there on Twitter, that's on you. I didn't request it, but I'll send you a Fade to Black hat. Okay, so Jason, again, thank you, man. What another great Quittspiracy. 8 months we've been doing this.
Crazy.
It has become not only popular, but fun for everybody to participate in. And thank you so much, my friend. I hope that you and Monica are safe up there, and good luck on everything that you are doing in your backyard. We'll talk about that at a later date. And everybody's wondering what we're talking about, but I can't wait to see the pictures. Thank you so much, Jason, and have a great night, and all the best to Monica. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Quitt. Now, it's very simple. It is thecrystalsun.com. Head straight over. Jason's books are there. And, of course, Oralite. You can go and check that out, too, as well. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, right here, Johnny Enoch, we are going to be discussing Sylvia Browne's 2005 book, talking about prophecy in The Simpsons. Well, she did it in 2005, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2020 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black of the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Until then, be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.